promised you guys that I was just going to show you every bit of progress that was happening here on this job site that we're taking care of. And so today, here we are. Next to me, we have the stucco wall that's being built. I told you about it. If you guys haven't seen the very first video that we launched showing you the very first step of this progress, be sure to go back and watch that so you kind of are caught up on what's going on here. But the stucco wall is assembled with those cinder blocks, as they always do. They put a footing down, a concrete footing, then built the wall on top of that, and then it's going to be stuccoed on top of that. We're going to have a light that goes up to wash the wall, and then eventually it's going to have fig vine growing on it as well. So it's going to turn out to be a green living wall when it's all said and done, but you got to kind of make that building for it to start with. Of course, there's going to be a beautiful gate in front too, but that's going to kind of come last. So I want to show you through. You can see behind me, or as I'm walking through, we've got this crush and run. This is not crush and run. This is crushed limestone. Number 57 is what this is, and this is the base material that's going to go down before the crush and run, and then the pavers go on top of that. But part of the pavers have already been done, and that's the portion that I want to show you today. I've got to walk backwards, so I'm making sure I'm not going to impale myself on anything as we go by. But you guys can see on the ground here that we have the crush and run that's happening because that is where the pavers are being laid right on top of there. The paver that we're using here is called dimensional flagstone. It's by a company named Rosetta, and we use two different types of material from Rosetta. One is that dimensional flagstone, like I mentioned. The color of this is called Coastal Blend, I believe is what it's called. And then behind me you'll see the other material that we use, which is the retaining wall block. That's the same color. It's also a Coastal Blend, but the type of block is called Coda. Okay, Nate, I'm worried about people falling on this job site. And so this patio is going to extend all the way over to the retaining wall and then be about 18 inches tall plus a cap so that we can have a little area for people to sit down. Of course, beneath all of this, if you watched the last video, you will have seen all of the drainage that the contractor ran previous to this to make sure that all the water is getting out of this job site. They also ran irrigation, and they also are going to be working on lighting coming up soon too. So we have all of the elements working in this really small space. And I think I mentioned it last video too, that in a small space like this, it really takes a lot of detail and attention to detail, because when you walk into a small space, you can see every single element of what's happening. In larger spaces, the details are also important, but they aren't as noticeable. When you're in this tiny space, every single detail matters. And so the guys have done a really amazing job laying these pavers. Of course, after this is all said and done, we're going to go back with that polymeric sand, which is like a flexible sand, so you're not going to get any cracks along the way. You're not going to grow any of the weeds and things through the pavers. And so we're still about a week away from probably finishing out this project, maybe 2 weeks, depending on weather. I'm in short sleeves. It's November in Alabama, and so we're still pretty warm. We could still get some rain here. But that's pretty much the whole project. We've got, we replaced the drainage happening over here so it's all nice and smooth. We wanted to make sure that we weren't getting any kind of drains happening up next to the house. So anyway, all in all, we're just simplifying everything, giving the homeowner a really beautiful outdoor living space that they're going to be able to enjoy with their friends, family, and just entertain to the maximum and really utilize every bit of this small space.